Hello, everyone. Is everyone enjoying the weather? I'm flying from Boston side where we're still wearing winter coats, so I'm really enjoying this weather out here. And I really enjoyed Jason's talk this morning. I think he covered a lot of great points, and I'm actually a big fan of his. And I've heard several of his podcasts before. I already asked him the question about the energy level that he has. I'm not going to match that energy level for sure. I asked him if there was any secret to it. Turns out it's just his personality, so nothing I can do over there. And always wondered how somebody can think so clearly, talk so fluently, and actually do both of these things at the same time. I'm not going to talk as fast. I'm going to pause in between. I'm going to drink my water as well. And what surprised me the most is that I am going to be using a timer for the first time in my life. And then Jason was sharing his story about the timer, and I was like, oh God, Jason, you are scaring me. Well, I have kind of an embarrassing story about the timer as well, which I'll share a little bit later into the presentation. I need to establish credibility before that. And I have a request as well. If something happens, I walk off the stage before finishing my presentation, somebody please give me a beer. Well, good thing is we are going to a beer garden later this evening, so I'm really looking forward to that. Now let's get to the point. What brings me here today? The thing that brings me here today is the same thing that brings all of you here today. And that is three-letter word. Which one is it? Absolutely. The thing that brings us here is APM. I am also very passionate about APM. I haven't colored my fingernails, but I'm still, believe me, I'm very passionate. I have been an APM analyst for the past 15 years, and I absolutely love my job. Because with this job, with this role, I get the opportunity to meet forward-looking end users like you all, listen to your APM stories, listen about your APM initiatives, listen what is working for you, what is not working for you, what are your challenges. And on the other side, I also get to work with solution providers and hear from their side that what are they trying to do to help end users. So I absolutely get the best of both worlds. So I'll be sharing some of our research, some of our latest trends that we are seeing, some of the key findings. And my goal here today is that hopefully, out of this presentation, you'll be able to take one or two key points or pointers or strategy that will help you address your challenges a little bit better. I have to say one more thing. Whatever I share today is something I've learned from you guys. So if you don't like something, you know who to blame. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys make us the analysts. You guys give us the knowledge to be here and present our findings with you. If you don't like anything, if you like anything, I'll be here at the conference. Please feel free to share with me. Any agreement or disagreement is a great opportunity to learn, and I'm here to learn from all of you. Before I move forward, a little bit about my organization as well. I have been working with ARC Advisory Group for the past 15 years. My company has been around for a while. It was started 40 years ago. And you can think of ARC as a management consulting firm or a market research firm, but we specifically focus on industrial manufacturing. I cover APM. Several of my colleagues cover different areas. Somebody covers MES, somebody covers DCS, industrial AI, and so on. We work with solution providers as well as technology users like you all. We are a small company, but we are global. We are spread across the globe. We have conferences like this as well in various parts of the world. Next conference is going to be in May in Spain. If anybody is interested, I'll be happy to share more info on that. I've shared enough information about myself, so I won't go into any more detail. But I do want to say that the lady that you see over there, that's me. And this image is not AI generated, it's just a little old, but it's still me. I'm wearing the same jacket to prove the point as well. It has a little pocket. So the first slide that I want to talk about is what it is. You guys must be thinking, I am at an APM conference. Come on, this is not the slide I want to see. Are you guys thinking about that? Well, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Well, you guys are absolutely right. I think in the past few years, analyst community, solution provider community, we have done enough work around this term, APM, that it is a pretty standard definition out there, that even if you search it on Google, it's consistently, you'll hear about the same thing, that how do we manage our assets in the industrial world. If you Google asset management, that's a different story, because the similar term is used in the financial world as well. But APM, we have done a very good job around standardizing this particular definition, that how we manage all the tools and technologies that help us manage our assets better, they can be part of APM umbrella. And we have a number of tools, number of technologies that help us do that. But what we have seen over the years is that we have newer technologies that are not relevant to only the APM world. It is relevant to industrial manufacturing in various different ways, but they also help us manage our assets better. Some of these technologies are augmented reality, remote monitoring, smart instruments, drones, and we have a lot of data augmentation and data analysis tools as well, like digital twin, digital thread, machine learning, AI. And what we have seen over the years, that with APM, the end user expectation is now evolving. It's not only about meeting the reliability and availability goals. Now, end users want to tie in their APM practices with their business goals. And these business goals can be around increasing revenue, increasing profitability. They want to be more agile. They want to better meet their ESG goals. They want to better manage their risk and cost. And this is now possible because we have a lot of data and analysis tools available to us that you can tie in your APM initiatives with your business goals. So this is how we think that the scope has evolved, the definition has evolved over the years. APM could now be considered as an approach to managing assets that prioritize achieving business goals in addition to meeting your asset availability and reliability goals. Next, I want to talk about a new term that you have never heard before, and that is digital transformation. So digital transformation, in past 15, 20 years, a number of organizations are on their transformation journey. Organizations are looking to transform how they do business, how they produce, and how they operate. And they want to bring in efficiencies around various different things that they are doing. And we have a number of technologies that help us do that. We have remote services, we have cloud computing, we have digital twin technology, AR technology, robotics, additive manufacturing, AI, and ML. And all these technologies are helping end users transform. Of course, different organizations are at different point on their digital transformation journey. So we asked end users about where they are on their journey. And this is the response that we get. Going from bottom to top, we see the level of the transformation maturity increasing. I do want to ask you guys to look at the slide and see where would you think that your organization would fit. I'm a little sad to see that there are 17% of organizations that think that they have little to no digitalization. But you can see that there is definitely a great effort going on from the end user community to bring in digital transformation. And of course, at the top is organizations, where they are applying advanced AI, advanced machine learning to automate and optimize. And I think in some cases, you will have organizations that are using AI, but still, it's very uncoordinated, and they are just trying to figure things out as well. But in general, I would definitely like you to see where your organization is and think about that. Can we have a show of hand, those who think they are at the very top? At level 2, delivering real-time insights that guide optimization. Anybody at that level? At level 3? Okay. This is very surprising. At level 4? Okay. All righty. I think you just need a little more coffee. That's what it is. Because it's hard for me to imagine that 90% of this audience has little to no digitalization. Who is at level 5, at the very bottom? Sorry, that's 6th level. I need more coffee too. Level 6? Okay. After this break, get some coffee. All right, yeah, I'll move forward. So we asked end users, when it comes to adoption of digital transformation technologies, what technologies are you adopting? And that has helped you in the past 3 years, and what do you think will be key in the next few years? The first one is cloud analytics, and then we see 5G, Internet of Things, sustainability, and AI. And since we only have an hour today, we'll cover the top 6. So quickly, I want to talk about cloud technologies. So this survey that we did was a general survey. It was not specific to APM. And cloud appeared at the top. Even for APM, if I have to pick one technology that have the most impact in last few years, I would pick cloud as well. And I think the biggest beneficiary of the development when it comes to cloud technology has been mid to small size organizations. Large size organization, they have a lot of resources, and with resources I mean money. To invest in advanced technology, they have a lot of large corporations were already doing this. But a lot of smaller or mid-size organization, when it comes to technology investment, they were scared of the upfront cost. Of course, technology costs a lot of money. If you are spending a lot of money upfront, and if you are not getting the kind of result, they were hesitant. They were scared to try something new. What SaaS had done, it has lowered the upfront cost for mid to small size organizations. So a lot of them are open to trying something and seeing if it will work for them. Of course, many are reaping the benefit. The majority of the growth that is coming into the APM market is coming through SaaS. Second thing I want to talk about is analytics. And analytics appeared number 2 on the list. There are a lot of other terms that are kind of similar to analytics. That's machine learning and artificial intelligence. And a lot of people use these terms interchangeably. And I have to confess something. If my colleague who focuses on industrial AI, if he hears me saying this, he'll kill me. But he's not here, so I'll share it with you guys if you promise me not to tell him. I use these terms interchangeably as well. But a good thing, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that's happening, that earlier, I would say probably 5 years ago, we would hear some people say analytics, somebody would say machine learning, somebody would say AI. These days, everything is AI. And sometimes when people are talking about even Power BI, that is also an AI. So you have to be very careful. Everybody is labeling everything AI these days. But if we look at definitions, technically ML is AI. Analytics is technically something different. But all of them are very, very useful in asset management. But over the years, the way we have seen the use of the term analytics, even analytics is AI. So yes, I'm also saying everything is AI. The reason I'm saying that analytics is AI as well, because if we look at the complexity of analytics, there are 4 levels. Descriptive analytics is just simple summaries, what has happened. A lot of the software tools that we use, they include a dashboarding kind of capability, so that's your descriptive analytics. We have diagnostic analytics, which is a little more sophisticated. If you are using statistical model to see why is it something is happening, a lot of the time root cause analysis that involves diagnostics. And then we have predictive analytics, which is basically machine learning and AI that will tell you what will happen in the future by analyzing past data. And a level beyond that is prescriptive analytics, which is predictive analytics, but then you have recommended actions added to that. In the industrial world, in the APM world, we see a lot of predictive analytics. And the value proposition of predictive analytics is that when an asset is going to fail, we have condition monitoring technologies that can help us understand when something is going to fail, and they're going to give us the warning so that we can do corrective actions. The value of predictive is that you'll get to know about it way sooner compared to condition monitoring, so you have more time to fix your asset and to avoid unplanned downtime. Of course, predictive analytics is also not something new. It has been around for like 15, 20 years. But what has happened in the past few years is end users would tell us that I do have this technology, it's complicated to use, or it's not reliable enough, I don't trust the result. We were using it, but operators or maintenance person, they don't use it. They have turned it off. Over the past few years, the technology has improved, the algorithms have improved, so there is more trust into predictive analytics. So again, we are seeing a lot more interest from the end user community with predictive analytics. Next on the list was IoT. And again, it's another technology that has brought tremendous improvement to the APM world. Now, we have smart assets. The value of IoT is realized through condition monitoring, because earlier you had your assets, you had to connect them and to get signal from them. And sometimes end user would say, it's tough to connect this, it's tough to take the power to this asset, I don't know how to do it. So over the years we have seen IoT technology improving so much that even some of those assets that were tough to sensorize before are being added sensors to. And not only you can get the signal, if you want the signal to your plant, you can do that. If you want to send the data to a third party, you can do that. If some of the data is relevant to your enterprise system, you can feed in the data. And of course, IoT alone is not doing the work. It's with the help of other technologies. It's with the help of technologies like analytics, cloud computing, and so on. We are also able to connect our workers better. And that has brought tremendous improvement when it comes to safety. Talk about gas detection technology. Earlier, we had gas detectors that will just sound a local alarm. But in a lot of situations, it can also be helpful that if you have a central monitoring station, if there is a gas leak and your workers are out there, IoT technology is helping us connect those gas sensors to a central location so that if some emergency action needs to be done, it can be done quickly. And of course, we are seeing improvements in productivity and so on as well. If we look at the IoT maturity model, IIoT has brought in improvements in various different areas, starting at the very first level, which is condition monitoring. It's simple to add sensors, and it's simple now to collect a lot of vibration, temperature, these kind of data. Next level is remote monitoring and diagnostics, where some of the end users are using it. I share one example that an end user shared their story with us, is that they had four different plants, but they didn't have enough subject matter experts. So what they did is that they created a central monitoring station where all the data was coming through their 4 different plants. So this way, they were able to better manage their plants even when they didn't have enough subject matter experts to be located at each of those locations. Next level up is remote services, where not only you for your organization, some other organization can help you with the services as well. And again, this is another area where small to medium-sized organizations are benefiting quite a bit, because they may not have the vibration experts at each location. They may not have the data scientists at each location. What they can do is that work with third party who have their own vibration analysts, who have their own data scientists, and monitor your assets. And last is asset as a service, which also can be done now that if you are getting all the data from the asset. Honestly, I haven't heard a lot of end user using this. That is made possible with IIoT, but I haven't heard a lot of successful use cases around that yet. So if you have a story where you are using asset as a service, please do share with me. Next, quickly, I want to talk about 5G networks. I was actually very, very surprised to see 5G network so high up in the list. And I started thinking about it and realized that my conversation with end users have changed a little bit, because 10, 15 years ago, they would say, I don't want to add wireless sensor, I don't want to do this project because the network are not reliable enough. I don't hear such complaints anymore, and of course, this has been made possible with more reliable 4G and 5G networks. When we are thinking about use cases such as you want to do real-time manufacturing, you want to adjust your processes as quickly as you have key information. When you are thinking about advanced capabilities such as augmented reality, when you are adding more and more sensors to your plant, to your field, latency matters, speed matters, density matters. And that's why 5G is very key enabler of advanced APM technologies. Next up on the list is sustainability. And we asked end users in a separate question that what is driving investment for them. And this is what we hear. First one is something I always ignore. Of course, everybody wants to grow. They want to get into new markets, new segments, and geography. So I always ignore that. That's always the answer. Nothing changes over there. But what I try to do is that I try to pay attention to what is number 2, what is number 3, and that gives me some perspective of what end users are thinking. So in 2023, sustainability was important, and it was at number 6. I just counted, so it is number 6. But in 2024, what changed was growth was still number 1. Second was innovation, and energy transition and sustainability, that comes at number 3. So definitely shows how the priority for end user is evolving. And when we ask them about their initiatives and what are they looking to gain out of their energy transition and sustainability initiatives, the one at the top is increasing energy efficiency and optimization for lower cost. And this is very relevant for the APM world, because I used to talk to end users and doing their APM projects and solution providers, and they always say the key benefit they are looking for is increasing the reliability, increasing availability, lower cost, and sustainability by having energy efficiency is always looked as a side benefit from solution provider as well as solution user perspective. But I think we need to focus more on sustainability as a major benefit out of APM investment as well, because that's what the C-suite is thinking. So if you are doing an APM project, if you are going to your boss and you try to justify the cost, don't think of sustainability as the side benefit. It is a key benefit. It is going to help you become more energy efficient. It is going to help you lower cost. Next, I want to talk about, again, something that we have never heard about, and that is artificial intelligence and machine learning. And again, I'm not an AI expert. I am not a machine learning expert. But I think this is something that we all need to educate ourselves because it is going to change our lives. So I'm trying to learn in the process, and I try to learn how it is impacting the APM world. I'll share some of the results with you. So in the survey that we did with the end users, we asked, what are the most impactful technologies in the next 5 years? One thing I would like to point out, the question where we asked, what technologies are changing, your digital transformation initiatives? AI appeared at number 6. But when we asked a different question, what is going to have a major impact in the next 5 years, it appears at top. In fact, this is not the latest result. This is from a question from December 2023. The survey that we did in 2024, again, of course, AI appeared at the top, but you can see the level of interest has changed so much in 2023, whereas only 35% of the respondents said AI is the technology that will have the most impactful in the next 5 years. In 2024, you can see that about 55% of the respondents said AI/ML will be the most impactful technology in the near future. So there's definitely a lot of interest, and we all need to learn about AI. Out of AI and machine learning, I think the technology that so far have had a great impact on APM space is machine learning. So I'll share a little bit about that. So years ago, I don't even know when, I heard the term machine learning for the first time. The image that I had in my mind was something similar. What is machine learning? Machine learning about new stuff? Is that how machines learn? And then I saw a cartoon in Jetsons, and which showed that this is machine learning. If humans are learning from machines, can that be machine learning? Or something like this. This is actually the last image that you see is a prediction from a magazine in early 1950s that predicted how we are going to learn in the future, which something like this already happened, right? During COVID time, that's how kids were learning. The laptops look different compared to what. But what really bothered me is the guy flying out there. I mean, we have, some experiments are going on, but I'm not ready to see that yet. I'm really worried about people flying in drones like that. But the machine learning I actually want to talk about here is, where you have algorithms, you learn from historical data, which is a part of AI, and I want to talk about, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced learning. And again, you must be thinking that there are a lot of shiny new things when it comes to AI. Why we are still talking about supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced? It's because I have a lot of cute cat pictures. That's why. Any cat lovers out there? Show of hand for this one at least, please, cat lovers. Yes. Any dog lovers out there? Yes. Actually, I made a mistake. After creating these slides, I actually Googled, are there more cat lovers or dog lovers? There are more dog lovers out there, which is, kind of evident over here as well. But I have spent already too much time, so for cat lovers, there it is. So supervised learning, we teach the algorithm step by step. This is cat, this is not a cat, this is cat, not a cat, and so on. And that's how the algorithm learns. We use this for many applications in the industrial world. Unsupervised learning is a little bit different, where we supply a lot of data to the algorithm, and it learns by its own. Clustering is a technique that's an example here, but there are other techniques as well, and that's how the algorithm learns. The one that I really like are semi-supervised and reinforced learning, where you supply a lot of data, and the algorithm learns on its own. But if there is a mistake, like here there's a giraffe, then you can tell the program, oh, there you went wrong, this is not a cat. So again, but these are very resource intensive as well. We do see in the industry, but this is what our industry needs. We need the capability of machine learning as well as the subject matter expertise. And when these two go together, that's when you really solve problems. Next is neural network and deep learning. We have all heard about these as well, where you assign different weights to different factors, and that's how the algorithm learned that this is a cat. And it's very similar to the neural networks in our brain. That's how it gets the name. But it requires a very large data set. In fact, when scientists were experimenting with it in the 90s, they were trying to sort different colors, and they kept getting the wrong result, and they're like, oh, this is not working. They realized that the algorithms work, is just that they need a larger data set. So we use that, we see the use of deep learning for image recognition, speech recognition, and so on. And then when you have a different question, like cat is better than, you again need a very large model. In this case, you need a large language model, which helps you get to the result that cat is better than dog. I'm not saying that it's the large language model. So that's our generative AI, which we are all very familiar with. But it helps create new contents. Generative AI is not the latest shining thing anymore. The latest shining thing is agentic AI. So if we have a question like, what is the cutest cat breed? Generate a list in Excel of pet stores, shelters within 15 miles, and then email them to ask a question that if they have a breed. So if you have a problem like that, then agentic AI can help you. Agentic AI is very complicated. It's a combination of ML, deep learning, Gen AI, LLM. But the way to look at agentic AI is there are 4 main components of it. First is perception, where it basically gathers the information. Reasoning, where it analyzes the data. Action, perform what you need. And the unique part is learning, that on an ongoing basis, it can learn, it can refine its result, and it can do that on its own. We have started to hear about organizations experimenting with agentic AI, but we'll see a lot more use of this technology in the near future, absolutely. So I have talked enough about machine learning, AI, and you are thinking, but how is this helping me manage my assets better? So next I want to talk about how, what kind of applications that we are seeing in the industrial world and what can be made possible in the near future. So over the last few years, our APM has improved quite a bit. We have, from at the level 1, manual processes, reactive, which we still do for a number of non-critical assets, which is a very good strategy for those. And then as the level of criticality level of our asset increases, we can choose our strategies, planned maintenance, preventative maintenance, predictive maintenance. And of course, AI has the capability to simplify asset management at each of these levels. At the very basic level, it can generate better search results, and that can help a great deal for a field worker who's trying to do their job out there. If they need to get access to a manual, if they can get the right manual quickly, and that can help them solve the problem, fix the asset in less than an hour, that's a win-win situation. The one application that is very, very common is using AI for technical assistance. So we already have our application. A lot of the organization, what they are trying to do is that they are trying to add an add-on AI assistant where you can ask your question, you can get a result. These kind of AI assistants can leverage your manuals, your various documents, and it can act if they are integrated with other systems, get data from other systems as well, and provide you the information that you need to do your job. So we definitely see a lot of application for technical assistance. Another area that we are seeing is for knowledge capture. A lot of times we hear from end user that my subject matter experts, they are retiring. How can I capture their knowledge? AI is trying to help with that. A lot of explicit knowledge that you have your notes, procedure, how-to guides, documents. It's easier to capture that information, but still a lot of work. And then there's your tacit knowledge, which is actually your subject matter expertise, which is tough to convert into an algorithm, which is your intuition. It could be your years of education, years of expertise, your individual skills and insights that you have. But generative AI or AI is trying to capture that as well, trying to convert tacit knowledge into explicit formats as well that can be leveraged with the for rest of our organization. So we'll definitely see a lot more development, a lot of work toward this direction where AI is trying to capture the tacit knowledge. And then there's the possibility of synthetic data. Oftentimes we talk to end users and they are on their transformation journey, they want to adopt advanced capabilities, but the foundation is not right, and the foundation is the data. They have a lot of data gaps, where they have missing data, where they don't have the historical data. And especially for APM, because you need failure data to train your models, and failure is something that you are trying to avoid, and just because of that, you may not have the kind of data that you're looking for. So generative AI is also being used to generate synthetic data. In consumer world, we have heard a lot of applications about synthetic data. I haven't heard anybody using generative AI for creating synthetic data, but if you are doing that, please let me know. I would like to learn more about that. Next is, just simplifying your reliability processes, simplifying FMEAs, RCA or risk-based inspection, any technology or any tool that require you to analyze a large set of data, AI can be helpful for that. Years ago, we had a gentleman present at my company's conference, and he was talking about FMEAs, how in his earlier days it would take him months to do the FMEAs, and how later they working with an organization that provided them with the libraries, and just that helped them do FMEAs in weeks rather than months. And now on top of these libraries, you add search tools, you add AI, and you can think how much more simple all those tasks can be. And then of course we asked our end user community, what are the different ways you are thinking of using industrial AI? And the top answer doesn't surprise me at all, that there will be specific AI tools for each use case. Another observation, AI is not a new technology. There have been a lot of AI companies in the past 20 years, and a lot of large organizations, a lot of resources, a lot of money have worked with these AI companies or tried to create AI capability within the organization and just have these advanced solutions custom built for them, or they were making these tools for them. It works, but it is an expensive strategy. What has happened with Gen AI, with all the AI companies out there, the transformation that is happening is that how we consume AI. Earlier, if organization wanted AI, they would hire an AI company, work with them, and then create AI tools for them. What is now happening is that solution providers, say APM solution provider, EAM, CMMS, FSM companies, what they are now doing is they are now incorporating AI into their existing solution. Industrial manufacturer already use some APM software, already use some EAM software, some FSM software, and if AI is already being added to it, the adoption of AI is simpler and the adoption of AI is cheaper compared to how it used to be in the past. So we see a lot of companies adopting AI because of this, because specific AI is being added to different use cases. Of course, knowledge capture is a big deal in our industry, in industrial manufacture, so we are definitely seeing a lot of use cases, a lot of work being done around that, how Gen AI can be helpful in capturing and sharing knowledge. Third one, honestly, even I don't understand what do you mean by broad range of AI ML tools. I did not create the survey, so I can blame somebody. But yeah, it's good to see what organizations are thinking about when it comes to AI adoption. Next, quickly, I want to talk about the challenges as well. Another survey response, which comes as no surprise, security is a big concern, privacy is a concern, ensuring data quality. These are some of the major challenges that organizations are facing. And I think if we need to address some of these challenges, if we want to adopt AI, if we want to address these challenges, one thing that all end users need to focus on is bringing IT and OT together. Essentially how we look at IT and OT is very different. IT is typically responsible for systems that manage corporate functions such as HR, finance, supply chain, and so. And OT is quite broad and quite diverse, where our industrial manufacturers, they are either in the business of making something and transforming something, and all the technologies that help you do that fall under the umbrella category of OT. So the scope is different, the endpoint is different, focus is different, architecture is different. IT focus a lot on people, some standard tools and technologies, routers, computers, and so on. And OT is very complicated. You have your people, you have your pumps, you have your asset, you have heat exchanger and whatnot. So it's very complicated. Bringing these together is not that easy. But we have, data ops, agile framework that companies are, trying to adopt to bring these two together. And as software becomes an even more prevalent part of industrial manufacturing, I think this is something that needs to happen absolutely. So the ISA 95 model, I think we all have seen some way, shape, or form this model before, which was developed 25 years ago, actually. It's still helpful, but it had its levels where you can segregate, okay, this is something that's managed by OT, this is something managed by IT. But now we have edge devices, we have edge computing, we have cloud computing, we have apps running on the cloud, which makes it very complicated. We do not have the layer structure that we used to have anymore. Hence, it's absolutely important for the IT and OT to come together. Looking at the global trends, when we look at trends globally, sometimes it's easier to distinguish between the trends that we see in the developed world versus the developing world. In the developed world, the industrialization happened many years ago. So here we see a lot of brownfield projects. In developing nations, the industrialization is still happening, so we see a lot of greenfield projects. But what has happened in the past few years with all these newer technologies today, we see developed world leapfrogging. This happened with cell phone technology and landline, where developing nations, they never had the landline, they just moved to mobile technology, because over the years it has become cheaper, easier to adopt, and same thing is happening with the advanced technologies of today as well. A lot of developing nations don't have to go through the growing pains of when you are trying to improve a technology, make it more reliable, make it more cheaper. So we definitely see a lot of investment coming from the developing world as well. From market size perspective, APM market is about 13 billion, and the majority of consumption, no surprise, comes from the North America, where 40% demand for APM technologies, APM products come from. And second is EMEA, which include Europe, of course, Western world, as well as Middle East, and then Asia, and then Latin America. If we look at the trends, definitely North America leads when it comes to market innovation. There are a lot of startup organizations. Even within the APM world, you see a lot of startup organizations. We definitely see a lot of investment in advanced technologies. We see that in Europe as well, but in Europe one can say a lot of the investment is also driven by regulation. There are a lot more stringent regulation around safety over there. So we see definitely a lot of APM investment around that. In Middle East, of course, oil and gas is a major market, definitely a lot of investment in that area. China, when it comes to Asia, China is one country that leads when it comes to investment in high-tech technology. We see a growing interest in Southeast Asia, so a lot of manufacturing capabilities coming there as well. Latin America last few years has been struggling a little bit, so hence we see the market size remaining similar over there, and it's a lot of commodity driven market over there. So when the commodity market does well, we see a little more investment. When it goes down, we see decrease in investment as well. Next is, how do we move forward? So here if I have to pick 4 strategies for technology providers or technology users, so this is what I have thought of putting. And first thing is, I put enhanced core competency for technology provider, but it's actually true for end users as well. There are a lot of newer technologies out there. We have AI, machine learning, but we need to see these technologies as how we can leverage these to improve our core competency. We are not in the business of, we are not an AI company. We don't want to be a machine learning company, but we want to leverage these technologies to improve our offerings. And then second is addressing data challenges, as software plays an important role, as AI plays an ever increasingly important role. We have to address the data challenges that we have. And for that, I think it's absolutely important for users as well as providers to work with other experts out there, create partnerships that can help you with your data challenges. But ultimately, a solution provider can help you, to some extent. It's internally that users need to address the data challenges, And then another point is bring simplicity. If you have a very nice, very good solution that is the best in the world, but if it's complicated to use, I mean, you're not going to see the adoption. We have heard it many, many times before. So you need to bring in simplicity. Collaborate. Solution provider need to collaborate with end users because they are the one who understand their challenges better than anybody else out there, and that's what solution provider are there for. They are called solution provider for a reason. And from user perspective, I think the one thing that I always say, like a broken record, is identify your objective. Start with the problem first. Adoption of technology just for the sake of technology is never a good strategy. So see what problem you have and then see, okay, what technology can help me address this problem. So definitely start with that. Focus on data quality. And third, I want to emphasize on addressing culture. Technology is only a part of the solution. A lot of the times when you talk to end users, we say, my major challenge is how do I get my workforce to change? And Jason also shared that change creates panic, right? So how do we motivate our workforce to be open to change? One thing is that definitely bring your IT and OT together. Definitely include your workforce earlier in the process. I think it's painful because sometimes we talk about too many cooks in the kitchen. But if you are looking for higher adoption, include them, hear from them, what are their challenges, and try to see how the technology is going to help address those, how it's going to simplify their job, and the message should come from the top. They need to believe that the leadership is doing the right thing, and that is going to help them with their APM initiatives. And last but not the least is the piece is integration. A lot of the times we talk to end users and ask them what is their biggest challenge, and they say integration. It's about integration of your various business systems with your APM systems. When talking about adopting predictive analytics, machine learning, AI, for APM initiatives, end users should pay attention to how their different APM software can connect to Historian. Your time series data is absolutely key for initiatives like predictive analytics. On top of that, we often hear from end users, they want to connect their ERP system, connect their MES systems, field service system, and so on. But most often, I think it's the Historian that they really need to connect to. So when you are looking for solution providers, solution partners, make it a priority that they can help with the integration piece of it, because that's absolutely necessary going forward. And another thing I did not put here, I should have, which is around training. As well, oftentimes, you know, it's something that is ignored from the provider side as well as the user side, but we need to train the workforce on adopting newer technology. Again, we have heard from end user many times, I invested so many millions in this technology, and after a year when I was doing the assessment, I realized nobody is using the key features, the important features because of which they adopted something. And the reason was they never prioritized training. The operators, the maintenance technician never knew how to use, and they were surprised, oh, this can do this, or this would have, you know, simplified my job quite a bit. We never paid enough attention to training, and that was one reason. So with this, I would like to say thank you so much, and I'm here to learn, so please let me know if you agree with something, disagree with something, and who has the beer? Anybody? No? Thank you so much.